Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Here, we embrace true femininity. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update.
Welcome to the Grand Drag Ball. The loud voice from the stage boomed through the dimly lit club. I nervously adjusted my tie as I made my way towards my seat at the front row. I was attending my first ever drag queen show and I couldn't have been more excited. I had always been fascinated by the glamorous world of drag and the confidence and charisma of these performers. As I sat down, I couldn't help but admire the colorful and over-the-top costumes of the drag queens prancing around the stage. Suddenly, one of them caught my eye. Dressed in a sequined gown with feathers cascading down her back, she exuded an air of elegance and grace. Her long blonde hair was styled in perfect curls and her makeup was flawless. I couldn't take my eyes off her. "Who is she?" I asked my friend, who had brought me to the show. "That's the famous drag queen, Crystal Sparkle. She's the star of this show," my friend replied with a grin. I was in awe of Crystal's confidence and poise on stage. Her performance was nothing short of spectacular. As the show went on, I found myself cheering and dancing along with the crowd. I had never felt so free and uninhibited before. I was caught up in the energy and the acceptance of this queer community. As the show came to an end, I couldn't help but feel a tinge of disappointment. I didn't want the night to be over. But then Crystal announced something that took me by surprise. "Tonight, we will be picking one lucky audience member to come up on stage for an unexpected cross-dressing makeover," Crystal exclaimed, scanning the crowd with a mischievous smile. The audience erupted in cheers and hollers, but I never thought that I would be the lucky one chosen. My heart raced as Crystal's gaze landed on me and she beckoned me to the stage. I stumbled out of my seat, heart pounding in my chest, and made my way up the stage. As I stood before the audience, I felt naked and vulnerable. But then Crystal's reassuring hand on my shoulder calmed my nerves. She whispered in my ear, "Don't worry, darling. You will look fabulous." I couldn't believe what was happening as I was led backstage by Crystal and her team. Before I knew it, I was stripped of my clothes and handed a lacy red dress. My hands trembled as I slipped into it, my heart racing with excitement and fear. As the transformation continued, I was amazed at the effortless way the drag queens applied makeup and styled wigs. It was like watching magicians at work. And before I knew it, I was looking at a different person in the mirror. My hair was now a soft shade of lavender, my eyes were adorned with thick, fluttery lashes, and my lips were painted in a bold red. I couldn't recognize myself, but I also felt an incredible rush of confidence and empowerment. I was no longer just a regular, boring guy. I was a glamorous queen. As I stepped back onto the stage, the crowd erupted into cheers and applause. I had never felt so alive and accepted by a group of strangers. Crystal took me by the hand and led me to the center of the stage, where we danced and lip-synced to Beyoncé's Single Ladies. The feeling of liberation and expression was overwhelming as I shook my hips and swayed in my stilettos, feeling the beat of the music. I had always been afraid to let go and be myself, but in that moment, I realized that this was where I truly belonged. As the show came to an end, I was brought back to reality. Crystal gave me a goodbye hug and handed me a card with the name of the drag queen bar where they performed. "We would love to have you join us," she said with a wink. I left the club that night with a newfound sense of confidence and belonging. I couldn't wait to come back and explore this new side of me. I even started attending drag queen shows regularly and slowly started building my own drag persona. But it wasn't just about the makeup, the costumes, and the performances. It was about the sense of community and acceptance that I found in this world. These drag queens were not just performers, they were activists, fighting for the right to express themselves and be who they truly were. And now, I was a part of that movement. It's been a year since that unexpected cross-dressing makeover at the drag queen show, and I am now known as Lola DeVere, the sassy and fierce queen who isn't afraid to be who she is. And I have Crystal Sparkle and the drag community to thank for it. They gave me a makeover that went beyond just the surface. They gave me a new outlook on life, and for that, I will always be grateful.